Well, for everybody wanting Okita Alta to become a quick servant, I guess you finally got your wish, because with Summer 6 coming out, we now have Saber Okita Alta, and it's quite literally just, what if Okita Alta was a quick servant instead of a buster servant? So, needless to say, she's pretty good, but if you enjoy FGO content, I upload these videos every single day, and all I ask for in return is a like on the video and a subscribe to the channel. You can also click that join button if you want to go that further extra mile to show your support for the channel. But with that being said, let's just go ahead and dive right into Saber Okita Alta. And yeah, she's a very basic servant, but she's actually really good. Like, she's got pretty much everything she could ever want. Like, she's very good. But she's not doing anything super broken or unique, if that makes sense. So starting off with her hits, she's packing 3 hits on 2 buster cards, 4 on 1 quick card, 5 on the 2 quick cards, and then 5 on the extra attack with a 10% star gen stat and a 67% NP gain per attack as well. Meaning if you're able to get a crit on that arts card, you will be refunding a massive amount of NP, but that decent NP gain combined with some skills that she has to further buff up her NP gain mean that you can actually refund and get some decent NP back from said quick cards as well, especially because they have 5 hits on them as well. They actually were not playing around when they were like, oh, you guys wanted Okita Alta to be a quick servant. Okay, we're gonna make her good. That 5-hit extra attack is also gonna round out her Brave Chains, giving her extra NP, star gen, and extra damage. As if you did not know for some reason, because you've been living under a rock, the extra card is a composite card. So it's just looking like her hits at face value are all very good, and they're going to play very well into the kit that she has going for herself here. But let's go ahead and start talking about some of her skills. So, skill 1, she's getting a 30% attack buff that lasts for 3 turns. Then she's getting a 20% buff to her quick and buster cards that also last for 3 turns, all on a 6-turn cooldown. So, this is good for numerous reasons. One, the buster buff is good for buffing up, any buster crits you might want to do. The quick card is buffing up not only the damage of said quick cards, but it's raising the NP gain of said quick cards as well. So it's doing more than just giving her more damage. It's going to help her loop just a bit better. But then they slapped on a 30% attack buff, and that doesn't just combine with the 20%, right? It doesn't just make a 50% buff. It actually multiplies for much more than that, because different buff types multiply into each other. So you're getting a lot more damage than you might think just from this one skill. The only thing that I have a little bit of a gripe with is the fact that the 2 20% buffs could have probably been 30% as well. I would have really liked to see them have just that little bit of extra oomph added to them. But then again, my wish will be answered when we get to the NP, so we'll talk about that later. So, while I would have liked to see a bigger initial quick buff, more specifically because she's mainly going to be used as a quick servant, they do kind of give that back to us when we get to her NP, so let's just keep talking about her kit. Her second skill is going to be giving her a 30% battery, decent star weight of 500%, and then 50% crit damage for 3 turns, all on a 5-turn cooldown. So again, you're seeing a lot of similarities to Okita Alta, where it's like, she has the double buff with the quick and the buster card. She has the attack buff that Okita Alta got after her buff. Then she has the 30% battery, the star weight, and then she's actually getting crit damage as well. So it seems like they almost took the original design for Okita Alta and like streamlined it and kind of reformatted her skills so they make a bit more sense, which honestly I'm a complete fan of. I really do like how this skill is structured, because getting the battery and then getting the star weight and the crit damage really aren't going against each other. The only thing that's really unfortunate is that they kept the thing from the original Okita Alta where the star weight only lasts for 1 turn. But I guess they kind of made up for that by giving her 50% crit damage that lasts for 3 turns. Like, they made that pretty decent. So overall, again, a very solid skill. Moving on to skill 3. This I see as a direct upgrade to her actual survivability, because now she's getting 2 hits of invincibility as opposed to just 1 hit of evasion that lasts for 3 turns. And then she's also getting 30% NP gain that lasts for 3 turns, all on a 6-turn cooldown. So that's kind of what I was talking about with her skills, is that she already has very high natural NP gain. She has a battery plus a skill that buffs her NP gain plus a skill that buffs her quick performance. So as far as being a quick servant that can actually loop their NP and just loop very effectively in harder content, she's going to be very good on that front. Speaking of her NP, it is an AoE quick NP with 8 hits, meaning she actually will be dropping a lot of stars as well. And then on its overcharge, it's going to be buffing her quick performance by 20 to 40% depending on overcharge. And that's why I was saying she kind of has a fix for that low initial quick buff that she has, because whenever she fires her NP, she really at bare minimum has a 40% quick buff, because you have the 20% from skill 1 getting added to the overcharge from her NP, and that's going to be at bare minimum 40%. And it does last the entire turn, so this does go into the Brave Chains as well. So she'll have basically a quick mana burst whenever she's firing her Brave Chains after her NP. Again, barring that you have her first skill up, but like, why are you firing her NP if your first skill's not up anyway? So overall, like that's what I was saying. This is a very basic servant that is just very good, because there's nothing new or like random about this servant. If you look at last summer, we had Summer Kiara and Summer Abigail, where Summer Kiara brought in this new gimmick where she could rank up her skills, and that was actually really good. And then Abigail brought in this new status ailment, the sleeping one, that wasn't the best and most well received. But now we just have good, very powerful .jpeg servant in Okita Alter Saber. I mean, again, there's really nothing I can criticize here. I mean, maybe they could have given her a star gen buff, but she really doesn't need it, because with an AoE quick NP with 8 hits and just a decent bit of star gen at 10%, I mean, she's going to gen a lot of stars anytime she fires her NP. So there's not a whole lot that I could critique with her. I mean, they could give her like NP damage to like further multiply and give her more damage. Maybe you could say that like, oh, maybe she should have lowered the enemy's quick resistance to give even more damage in a Brave Chain, but I feel like she's already doing enough. Like, there are little things here and there that we could just start demanding more. We could be like, we want more of this stuff, but she's very easy to use, very easy to comprehend. It's not like even the original Okita Alter, where you gotta be a little smart about how you play with her, because she only has the one hit of evasion, and you gotta time certain buffs that don't really synergize very well together. You know, the original Okita Alter is just a bit of an odd servant. This one, it just looks like they streamlined it. So it's really hard for me to complain at all about this servant. Now, if you're playing JP and you're wondering if you should summon on this banner, I mean, do you need a very powerful quick saber? Because if you need a quick saber, then this is your girl. In fact, if you just need a quick saber in general, this might be worth summoning on, because your options are a little limited. Like, you have Lakshmi Bai, Okita, Saber, Astolfo, Diermud, Frankenstein, and then Caesar. Like, you don't exactly have a whole plethora of options here. Especially considering that Okita and Saber Astolfo are limited, like they're just not in the general pool. And Frankenstein's also a summer servant that doesn't really come around all that often, so it's like, you either get lucky with Lakshmi Bai, or maybe Saber Diermud spooks you, or you're just kind of stuck with Julius Caesar. So if you need a very decent quick servant, then go ahead and summon for this servant. She's very, very good. I cannot fault anybody for trying to summon on this banner. Plus, I mean, I don't really think I need to convince people that she's like worth summoning for, because it's Okita Alter. People are going to summon for her anyway. Like, this is one of the servants that people were getting really hyped about when the leaks came out. They were like, oh my goodness, we're going to get Berserker Okita Alter. Then she turned out to be a Saber. But honestly, I don't think people really care. I think they're just happy that she's out in the first place at all. So let me know what you guys think about Saber Okita Alter. Let me know what you guys think about her. Are you going to be summoning for her? If you're an NA player, are you looking forward to this servant? Every time one of these JP servants come out, it's really funny for NA players, because they're like, oh my goodness, I gotta start saving now for 2 years. So we'll see how the NA players feel about this one. I mean, I'm more hyped for Summer Anastasia to be coming to NA, you know, in a few years. So that's what I'm waiting for, but I can understand the people being hyped about Okita Alter. And then let me know if you guys agree. Do you think she's just a very good basic servant because she's not doing anything super unique? They didn't give her any special damage mods. They didn't give her any new weird effects, nothing like that. They just made her a good servant in general. So let me know what you guys think about that as well in the comments down below. With that being said, I'm going to go ahead and get out of here. We are finally in Summer 6. No more dead FGO, at least for a little bit. So with that being said, I'm going to go ahead and get out of here. You guys have yourselves a nice day. Peace. Late, guys.